And now, our feature presentation.
I like it spooky.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the I Like It Spooky Horror Podcast. I'm Brian.
I am Clint, and we are experimenting with new technology while recording this show. And although, you listening, it doesn't sound any different. It does right now to us, and this is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like BTH experimenting with new technology, right?
Oh man, are we going to turn green? Ooh, can I get a toxic killer mop?
Oh, I hope so.
Rebecca wants a killer mop for Christmas.
I could get Tiffany to use a regular mop, I'd be in business.
So you're saying if that would happen, it'd be a newsflash?
So my news this episode from Bloody Disgusting, and it says the Toxic Avenger partners with undue medical debt to erase at least $5 million in medical debt. I can't remember if this is something you shared into our news chat, but I came across this week, and it says in the final week of marketing and promotion for the Toxic Avenger and the teams here at Cineverse, it's in the final week. Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting have decided to do something a little different. Rather than spending the rest of our marketing budget on a stunt or campaign, we decided instead to join forces with the nonprofit Undue Medical Debt for a much more important cause. And it looks like they're helping people through this nonprofit pay off their medical debt.
So it's amazing, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I am going to say if you announce something like that, isn't that kind of the same thing as a PR stunt? I mean, I'm not saying that they're doing it as a stunt. They're actually going to do it, which is it's amazing. And that's a better way than buying 50,000 fog machines to put in theaters or something, so it's super cool. But I mean, if you announce that you're doing it, then it's kind of a PR stunt to get more people to go to the movie, I would think.
Maybe they gave all those people that had undue medical debt free tickets to the movie.
That's almost worth more than paying off the bills.
A little bit of both.
This is a cool movie to see in the theater, The Toxic Avenger.
I mean, it's cool either way, but yeah, announcing it is kind of like patting yourself on the back. There's a video on the YouTube channel for Cineverse to erase at least $5 million in unpayable medical debt. No more stunts. It's time for action.
Still awesome. I'm glad that they're doing it. Yeah, I'm not knocking what they're doing at all. I was just kind of questioning the we're not doing a PR campaign, but it's kind of a PR campaign.
It's PR that's not PR that's PR. I wonder if I got any unpaid medical bills.
I don't know. You just broke my fucking brain, though.
What do you got?
I got a couple things. I got some Michigan news. So first off, this came from Macomb breaking news. So who knows how legit this is, but I've seen this shared around. And it is Frankenmuth's Bronner's expands dark side with year-round Halloween superstore in Michigan. So those not familiar with this store in Michigan, Bronner's is in Frankenmuth. It's a huge tourist attraction area, and they are known as like Christmasville. They have a lot of Christmas theme events all year round, and they have a giant Christmas superstore. But this says that the Bronner family, famous for turning Frankenmuth into a Christmas wonderland, is flipping the script with plans to break ground in 2026 on Bronner's Gates of Hell, a 365-day Halloween megastore in Mount Clemens that insiders say will be so massive it'll make Spirit Halloween, Lowe's, and Home Depot look like glorified dollar stores. Apparently, it's going to be a 200,000 square foot complex and is the brainchild of Buster Bronner, the black sheep of the family and heir to the estate, who insists the project will, quote, finally bring balance to a brand known for elves and nativity scenes. They're also talking about including a haunted house. There's going to be a full food court, water slides, all kinds of stuff. This isn't just a store. It's a statement. That is what we need in Michigan. This is what we need in America. So the article itself kind of sounds funny, and someone actually even commented, I was excited until I realized it was a parody. I wish this was real. So do your own research. I know that up there is a smaller Halloween store because I've had friends of mine go to it. It sounds like it's more on the cutesy side of things. Bronner's and Frankenmuth is still an amazing place to go to. If anything, if this is a parody, if this is a PR stunt just to get people to go, then hopefully it plants some seeds to make this thing really happen if it's not going to.
I was going to say, I think our friend Brian Hoover is there Just took a trip up there.
That's one of his favorite places. So actually, I should have checked with him. I should have checked with inside sources before reporting this. Brian, you gave me the perfect lead in with the PR thing. And so I'm like, we're going to go with this. So yeah, it sounds like it's kind of a stunt, but Bronner's and Frankenmuth still a cool place to go.
It sounds like something Troma would do.
It does sound like something Troma would do. Now, I do have one more piece of news, and I'm actually going to share this article on the I Like It Spooky Horror Podcast Facebook page. It's an mlive.com article. This one is legit, and it's rather long, so I'm just going to kind of real quickly go over it. But a Portage native, Portage, Michigan, and former Western Michigan University soccer player is home from Hollywood to produce an alien invasion thriller, casting local talent in supporting roles. And he's going to be shooting some stuff on the outskirts of my hometown, my home county in Jackson, Michigan. By the time this episode comes out, I think this will be just about wrapping up production. There's a lot of cool details about it, about what he's the filmmaker's done in Hollywood, working on things like, I think it said, was it the Gilmore Girls? And there's some other things. But I'm going to post an article because this whole episode would be about this project. I think it's going to be called The Crawling or The Crawlers. Check out the Facebook page and you can read all about it.
More horror coming to Michigan.
Yeah, I think it's super cool that something like this is local and happening around here. It's not the first time. There's been a handful of horror films shot in Jackson, Michigan. There's been a couple comedies shot here. Right here, the horror movie titled The Crawling. So, and they're not giving a lot of details about the plot points, but they did say that it's not just gore porn and jump scares. It's a really smart, well-written movie.
Oh, but we like those things. Well, gore porn.
But it said it's not just. So I think those elements are still in there.
Episode 200 of the I Like It Spooky Horror Podcast.
Let's do it, or we can at least cover it on Indie Spotlight. Because and it's kind of like that by where you live. Anytime there's a film shot around there, it usually gets a release or a premiere in the region where it's shot at. So, and it's happened with films shot in Jackson before, where it's going to wind up shown at the Michigan Theater in downtown Jackson, which I think is amazing.
We just know how things work, and if they started it today, it'll be 2 or 3 years until it maybe hits a screen.
Maybe, but I will tell you that those indie projects, depending on their budget, I mean, they could be sitting at home editing it as we speak. But it did look like they had some Hollywood producers and some legitimate industry players helping them out. Yeah, it could very well be that long post-production.
Yeah, when Hollywood gets involved, movies sit on the shelf for 2 or 3 years before they're released sometimes.
Not episodes of the I Like It Spooky Horror Podcast. I mean, sometimes, they take 2 weeks to come out, but now with this new technology that you've entered into this recording session, it could be out tomorrow. Hell, who knows?
Yeah, how are we going to pay for this new technology, though?
Sponsors. Yeah, sponsorship are good. We sponsor everybody else. I wish someone would sponsor us. I mean, we don't sponsor other people, but I wish... How am I supposed to say this? Let's go to a sponsor.
It's not time for that. It's time for poor.
I'm so poor that I want to jump right to sponsor, because when you ask me, when we get to poor, spoiler alert, when we get to poor, I'm going to say this. I'm just poor. It's plain and simple. That's it.
So on this episode of Poor, part 2 in Brian's dive into buying physical media and running a little booth. And I've done really well this month. I'm almost to $200 in sales, but I have to have movies to put on that booth. So I've become kind of a whatnot shopper. I don't know if you know what whatnot is.
No.
It's kind of like eBay, but it's live auctions. And people go crazy on these things, especially with sports cards. But I've been shopping movies. And my last box was from Up North Bargains. They're in Minnesota. And a lot of companies, a lot of people, whatever you want to call it, will have live auctions or live stack shows where they put out a stack of movies. And if you see a movie you want, you say the movie, and then they put it in a stack for you. And at the end of the show, or whenever you're ready to check out, they check you out, you pay for the shipping, and you're ready to go. Well, my last order was 91 movies from Up North Bargains.
You added 91 movies to the 5,472 trillion that you already have?
Yeah. I mean, if you could see the room I'm in, it's just tote, stack of movies, stack of movies, stack of movies. I have a convention coming up soon that I'm going to have a table at. So I'm trying to go through and make a couple smaller totes of just things I think people will like at that show.
I have a marketing idea for your booth whenever you do shows. You want to hear it?
What's that?
You wear a long brown trench coat, and inside you tape a bunch of movies, and then you just go up and flash people. I got what you need. I've got horror. I've got comedy. I've got drama.
I've got kids shows. What do you want? What do you want?
Make sure you put the kid shows kind of more up top. Don't put them down lower.
That's really all I've been buying is movies and movies and movies. And Tiffany's mom has a camper out at one of the lakes in the area, and she doesn't have cable there. So anytime I buy movies, I let her kind of pick through and see if there's anything she wants to take out to the camper to have stuff to watch. I think Friday night we watched Real Genius with Val Kilmer and had pizza. So that was fun. But yeah, I've just been buying movies and adding I picked up Fright Night yesterday for free on DVD. Adding my collection, subtracting from my collection, adding to other people's collections. That's all I'm doing, buying movies.
Well, I have nothing to talk about because I am extremely poor. So I literally have bought nothing. So to fill my time in this slot, I kind of jump back to news a little bit because it goes along with what you're talking about, Brian, with the physical media. I saw two things that I almost reported on before I did the Michigan stuff there. And that is one, I saw that Best Buy is revisiting the Blu-ray stuff. You know, Best Buy was always a place to go to get Blu-rays and movies, and they kind of did away with that. And it looks like they're bringing that back. I didn't go in depth into the article, but it looks like go back to Best Buy if you want to buy Blu-rays instead of ordering them from Brian. I suggest ordering them from Brian, though, because you'll probably get some I Like It Spooky swag along with it. And the second thing was I saw that Amazon is getting sued over misleading people to believe that the digital media that they rent from them is actually owned when you do that. And of course, it's not.
Yeah, Best Buy, I think, is not have anything in stores yet, but they did bring physical media back to their website and possibly into stores eventually. I mean, I can't see with the price of streaming just ratcheting up every damn day, it seems like, and people realizing, oh, you mean I don't own this season of Gilmore Girls that I bought for $20 and they can take it down at any time? Yeah, you don't own any of that unless you've downloaded it into some kind of library that you have at home, you know, a hard drive or whatnot. You own none of that. That is not yours. You don't own the rights to it. I don't own the rights to the movies on the CDs, but I actually have the CD and I could sell it if I need to, or I could give it to somebody. Yeah, none of that belongs to you. And I saw that where the lady was like, well, they told me that I don't even know what the fine print would be. How the hell would you read it? It's 15 pages long.
Right.
They make it that way on purpose because they know no one's going to read it. And I feel like it said she only had whatever the show was. It was a season of a show that she had paid $20 for like 3 months, and then it disappeared.
Tell you, here's a tip, people. I mean, this isn't like a genius move. I'm sure I'm not the only person that does this, but a lot of times what I'll do is I'll wait until a series ends. Like, let's say, Walking Dead, Dead City recently ended. And yeah, I wanted to watch them as they were coming out because I was kind of invested in the story, but I waited till the season ended. And then I did an AMC plus 7-week free trial. I sat there and binged all 8 or 10 episodes or whatever. And then I canceled my thing.
Yeah, we have a couple family members that'll kind of go back and forth. They'll do Hulu 1 month and then Netflix the next month and then Paramount the third month. They watch what they want. They get it in and then they go cancel that one and go to a different one and cancel. Because, I mean, if you had every streaming service that had the stuff you wanted to watch on it, you'd be $100-$200 a month. That's more than cable used to be.
You know, speaking of digital media and streaming, I forgot I did buy something. I just haven't done it yet, but by the time this episode comes out, I will. I've been wanting to get my hands on a PS5, which they're still expensive. Mainly so, like I talked about in the past couple episodes, I can play the Hellraiser game when it comes out.
This is it.
Let me see.
No, don't touch it. It's dangerous. It opens doors.
What kind of doors?
Doors to the pleasures of heaven or hell. I didn't care which.
Well, a guy that I work with, who I've known for years, he's a big gamer. He bought one. He'd rather play on PC. He doesn't care for it. We were talking at work the other day, and I mentioned I need to get one, but I've got all this other stuff going on. And he says, I've got it. I hate it. And he goes, I'd rather be on my computer. He goes, I'll sell it to you for $150. And I'm like, what? I was like, what's wrong with it? He goes, seriously, nothing, Clint. He said, I just don't enjoy it. I just want to get rid of it. I said, if I get this thing and there's a bunch of porn downloaded on it and the authorities come knocking at my door, he starts laughing. He says, no, I factory reset it, to erase all the porn. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that deal. Stuff like that never happens.
Well, you could do Hellraiser and the new Halloween's coming out.
Little Nightmares 3 is coming out also. Boots and I are looking forward to playing that. And Tubi doesn't work on my PS4 that well anymore. Like, sometimes it does. Sometimes the Roku, it does just fine, but not my PS4. So I'm hoping it works good on PS5.
It sounds like you're going to need a sponsor to buy a PS5 and all these games you want to play.
Yeah, the games are going to cost me more than what the damn PS5 cost me. And I think that the sponsor should be Buy Brian's Movies.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about, like, what would the name for your movie rental store be?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We never came up with anything.
No, we're stupid.
Aren't you tired of seeing the same old mainstream movies bouncing back and forth on the same old streaming services? Don't let these conglomerate cartels burn your hard-earned cash. There must be a better way! There is, and it's called Troma Now. Who said that? That's right. Troma Now is your destination for exclusive, one-of-a-kind cult titles, old and new.
Wow, so many to choose from. Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, Citizen Toxie, Terra Firma, Return to Nukem High Volume 2. Heck, I think I'll watch them all.
Hey, Michael, bring me some butter. I need some butter. Oh, such consistent, high-quality new releases. You will never have to go back to watching these elite, devil-worshipping international conglomerates streaming services. Step up to Troma Now and have some of Uncle Lloydie's popcorn.
Thanks, Uncle Lloydie.
Troma Now, it's the future.
What now?
Subscribe today at troma-now.com. The first month is free and only $4.99 a month thereafter.
So now that we've heard from our sponsor, it's time for the movie. The 2023 film, The Toxic Avenger.
This is, okay, yeah. It was made in 2023. Okay, I thought you were off on your years again, but...
No, it was made in 2023. It premiered in 2023. It just hasn't hit theaters until now.
Well, and that's because it almost wasn't released because they said it was unwatchable. Well, in my opinion, they were fucking wrong.
I have seen stuff way worse than this in a theater in the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. It was harder to watch than this. This is at least fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was interesting how the film opens up with almost a stylized spaghetti western score. It's something like you'd hear in like a Quentin Tarantino or a Robert Rodriguez movie. It wasn't an odd fit. I just thought it was unique. And I think anybody who goes and sees this new Toxic Avenger, whether it's, in theaters or it's at my house when I get my PS5 and it comes out on streaming, or when you buy it from Brian when it comes out on Blu-ray, which is supposed to have some extra deleted scenes in there, by the way, I found out. If you're a fan of the original and you watch this, I think it's going to be refreshing because you're not going to be bored. You're not going to sit down and watch the same old movie just done differently. It's its own movie, and I applaud it for that very much.
It's almost like, I wouldn't say a continuation. I would imagine it's the same universe or a similar universe. It's almost like The Evil Dead that come out in, 2013?
The Fede Alvarez one.
It's like that. It's like, this is the same universe, same kind of movie, but it's a little different.
Yeah, because I always viewed that Evil Dead, that 2013, a lot of people called it a remake, which I always kind of viewed that as, it was just a different group of people who came across the cabin. It's later on, years later, and it's just the continuation of the story, so to speak. Because in that movie, the Delta is kind of off in the background on the grounds outside the cabin. So it's like, okay, Ash was already here. This already happened. This is a different, a story in the same timeline. I don't think so much with this Toxic Avenger. I look at it more as a reimagining, but I don't disagree with you, Brian. I could see where this is Tromaville 40 years later.
It's got a different name. The town is not Tromaville. It's
St. Romasville. If you look at the sign, the letters are gone to make it say Tromaville, but just all busted up.
I'll give you a little synopsis on this one. A downtrodden janitor named Winston Goose undergoes a grotesque transformation into the mutant vigilante, the Toxic Avenger. After a chemical accident, armed with a mop, he battles corrupt CEOs, gangsters, and other grotesque foes while trying to repair his relationship with his stepson.
I'll tell you right now, visually, this reminds me of later Trauma stuff, because it is later Trauma stuff, but not knocking the sequels to Class of Nukem High, but they got real over the top cartoony. They still had the Trauma feel and the gore and the sleaze and just the grit and the grain and all that, but they were just over the top. This film is like that, but with the substance of a film. Those to me almost were like MTV videos, but this is a movie, and it's got some substance and it's got some messaging. Odd enough to say, in a Trauma flick or a film based off Trauma material, it actually has some like Disney movie moments where you kind of get choked up in your throat for a second.
Winston is a janitor at BTH, which is the chemical company, which would be like in the original Toxic Avenger, it's a power plant, a nuclear power plant is who's dumping the waste. In this one, it's a pharmaceutical or a wellness company that's causing all the issues, that's run by Kevin Bacon, who is one of the villains. There's so many villains in this. Well, who's bad? Who's good? Everybody at City's bad. This group's bad. The gangsters are bad. It's kind of like real life. Everybody else is just stuck in the middle. And this guy's just trying to pay his bills, watch out for his neighbors, have his son go to school, not be bullied. Winston's pretty much all of us, right?
Yeah, I think they made that very identifiable. So I think one of the many themes in this film was class warfare or rich versus poor. And it was very much greedy fat cats, poisoning the earth and getting wealthy while, everybody else suffers and just, money gets tighter and tighter. And you could see from his surroundings, it wasn't like he lived in the ghetto. It's like the whole town was a ghetto besides where the fat cats lived. Everything was very out of balance. And that was something that I loved too about the film was, especially in the beginning of the film, it very much had that early Trauma, that original Toxic Avenger 80s sheen with lots of background actors. It looked like it was shot in a burnout part of Jersey somewhere, a backlot in New York. It's really hard to explain. When you watch it, though, even some of the camera angles and shot and compositions of the people in the streets or the people outside the restaurant or, stuff like that, it was early Trauma. You don't see that kind of 80s film style anymore.
We're going to spoil it, but we'll try not to spoil it too much. Winston finds out he has cancer. His wife has died of cancer, like most people in this town, and he needs a medication that he thinks his insurance will pay for. Well, he's on the platinum plan, but the insurance won't pay for the drug unless you're on the gold plan.
He's like, doesn't platinum cover the gold? It's more than gold. And yeah.
Back again to the healthcare system and insurance and all that stuff. So another nod to social commentary. There's a lady and a gentleman from the newspaper trying to let the world know that BTH is this horrible company that is killing people. And if BTH has these goons that are a rap group or a music group or...
They reminded me of the Hollywood Undead, which I don't know if you've ever heard of the Hollywood Undead, but yeah, they were like kind of that rap rock group, almost like a more of a rappy kind of new metal. But that's where the elements of Nukem High got dropped in, because I saw the Cretans there. Like they didn't announce them as the Cretans, but it just, to me, I'm like, oh, this is the Cretans 2.0.
Or the Nuts? Is that the name of the band?
The Nuts. Was it the Nuts or the Crazy Nuts? Yeah.
But yeah, they had the guy that was doing parkour the whole time, the tall big guy with the chicken head, the DJ lady, the mummy. He looked like he escaped with a straitjacket on, but his face was all bandaged up. And then the third member of Insane Clown Posse. And
yeah, that's funny. And then the chicken, in my opinion, was a throwback to Rick Howard, who played Spud in Class of Nukem High. Even there was some other things, like the makeup look of Kevin Bacon's assistant after she becomes mutated reminded me very much of the professor in Nukem High when she became a Cretan as well, just very pale and veiny and the sunken in eyes. And they mentioned there was a part at a school and it was called like New Chemical School or something like that. Macon Blair did an amazing job of fitting a ton of points of social commentary that I think just about everybody will relate to. There's something in there for everybody to relate to in this movie. And he did so in a comical way. all while paying tribute to trauma without just copying or remaking it. It was, in my estimation, this film was a masterpiece based off what he was able to pull off.
There was a few things I did not like. Not big things, but just little things that I did not like. This is also such a rewatchable film.
Oh, for sure.
That I'll go back into it and be like, okay, I don't even remember not liking that the first time I watched it, because you said about the school. I can't remember what school they said they were from or what school they were playing, but they were, cursing, and the news cut because the kids were cursing in the background. That was fun too. The news segments were freaking a blast.
Reminded me of RoboCop.
But you could watch this and pick out Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg. Because the first time you're watching it, you're just trying to catch all of this stuff that's going on. Like you said, there's so many background actors, so much going on. In the beginning, when the cat gets thrown into the street, there's a car almost hits him. There's a guy on the bike that runs into the back of the car. So you barely see that guy on the ground there, and the son's helping him. And there's just so much going on.
Even with audio, there's a scene early on where Winston, before he becomes a Toxic Avenger, is at his job at the chemical plant there, and he's just mopping up, and some guy starts screaming in the background. You hear a splash. He's like, my eyes, I can't see, I can't feel anything. And it's all done in this like gory, comical way. There's just so much going on in this movie. I agree. You got to watch it a few times.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough because it didn't play where I live. It's not at my theater here. So I went to Burlington and saw it at the Capitol Theater with Brett and Tony from Brett and Tony with Ash and Abe. Met up with them, watched it.
Oh, so you went and saw it with the Cretans?
Yeah, with a couple of Cretans. Yeah, there was 3 of us. And then we stood outside the theater for an hour and talked about all kinds of movies and stuff. Tony's a film buff, so anytime you're with him, you're going to talk about movies for an hour after just watching a movie. I just had a freaking absolute blast with this. I don't know how they would say this is unreleasable or unwatchable. The cast is great. I mean, Peter Dinklage did great. Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood. I mean, I love the story they added with the lady that's the reporter whose mom died of cancer. That adds a lot.
Yeah, the background, it gave her character some value and some stake in the game, as opposed to someone who just moved the story along. She had a great little backstory.
The doctor that he finds in the woods, that's freaking great. And the stuff he does.
He says, who told you I was a doctor? He's like, you did.
He's warming up a pickle. Yeah, like so much stuff that seriously laughed out loud several times during the movie.
Same, and it wasn't just us, it was other people in the theater. Unfortunately, of course, we went to an early show on a Friday. We went to a 4:25 show. So that's still pretty early on a Friday, but there was just us and a handful of people. But yeah, everybody was laughing. It was just so much fun. You talked about Peter Dinklage. Is it Dinklage or Dinklage? Dinklage, okay. So Peter Dinklage's portrayal in the film and what he contributed, I thought I was going to have an issue with him playing Toxie, but I tell you what, I was 100% wrong. And for the majority of the film, when as a human and, as the voice of the Toxic Avengers, I'll get to that in a second, I never thought, look at this little person. Not once did it cross my mind. What he brought to the movie as Winston commanded every fucking scene he was in. It was top notch. He added so much to this film.
Someone said they hated the idea of the Toxic Avenger being a little person, but most people have said they love that idea. They like that idea. It makes him more of an underdog.
It does. Since he's such a talented actor, and I'm not a huge fan, meaning I don't follow everything. Oh, I got to see it because he's in it. You know what I mean? But I know things that he's been in, but I'm not well versed in his work. But I tell you what, his acting skills in this film were top fucking notch. He commanded everything. But come to find out, he only voiced Toxie once the Winston character became the mutant. Under the suit was a British actress named Luisa Guerrero, who she brings Teletubbies and Oompa Loompas to life. Peter performed the whole movie on videotape as just himself playing Toxie. There's a video version of him in a white room playing the whole movie, but making the choices, delivering the lines and the physical choices, how fast he's running and all of that is Luisa. I thought that was very cool. Fun fact on how that collaboration came to be.
110 pounds, 30 pounds of foam makeup, motors all over her face to move the eyebrows and stuff like that. Friggin' great. Just did an amazing job. I kind of thought I'd have an issue with the suit and the makeup, but the movie's so much fun that's like the 15th thing you'd pay attention to.
Oh, for sure. And I've talked about this because we've been talking about this movie for a while. And when the images first came out of Toxie, myself and a lot of other people, I thought it was going to be very Power Ranger-ish. I was wrong there too. It was, but it wasn't. The face of the makeup design showcased a lot of emoting, like you just said, and the body movements didn't come across as an actor in a rubber suit. Speaking of effects, the gore, it was fantastic. A lot of it was CG, which I like practical as opposed to CG, but it was still well worth the price of admission by far.
When you first get gore, well, I guess it would be the second time when the Toxic Avenger comes out and starts to save people. He's in the burger hut, the burger joint, and they're there because it used to be Mr. Burger, but they changed the name to Mrs. Burger, so they're upset. And the cop says, it's still the same great hamburgers, right?
Great grub or whatever, yeah.
So that pisses them off more. They do the scene with the blind person again.
But a toned down version. If you watch the original, it gets visual where they're getting ready to bend her over and they rip her dress and they're going to rape her. And they just kind of allude to that's what they're going to do with dialogue in this one.
The Toxic Avenger comes and saves the day. The guy comes out, and I won't spoil it, but that was me, Brett, and everybody in the theater at that. When the guy that has his face ripped off by the mop walks out, everybody just lost it. And I thought, this is going to be a freaking blast.
Now, one of the issues I did have with the movie was it didn't drag, but it was bogged down just a half a tick here or there. And I actually heard some of the scenes that were cut by the director that could possibly be on a Blu-ray release down the road were things that, like a flashback of him and his wife when they were still alive. And I haven't seen them, so I can't give my 2 cents. Not that my 2 cents means shit anyway. I wonder if that would have bogged it down even more because things moved along, but it's a different story than the original. And it took a while to really get going. And I think it's because it was trying to establish itself as not just this crazy off the wall. When you watch early trauma films, you hit play and you're in the middle of a bunch of fucking craziness. This was setting up characters and story. So it took a little while to get to the Toxie version of Winston and some other things. Still a good movie.
Yeah, because they have to add the layer with the stepson. That's not in the original Toxic Avenger. He's pretty much by himself. He's just him. He has no friends until he finds a girlfriend, but even then he has nobody outside of her.
He finds a girlfriend?
In the original Toxic Avenger?
Oh, I thought you were talking about this version.
So you add the son, the reporter, and eventually he's got several people that are watching out for him.
Including the town, like in the first one. But one thing I wanted to say about the effects too was there were some non-CG effects, and a lot of the non-CG effects were giant rubber ass pissing penises.
Nudity in this one too. Boobs.
And that was completely gratuitous, but it was fun and it was quick. But it was just there, so there were some nipples in the film.
Just throw them in there. And I love that Kevin Bacon, Peter Dinklage, and Elijah Wood have fuck you money.
Yes.
I mean, Kevin Bacon's got fuck you money from being in all this stuff. Peter Dinklage has fuck you money from Game of Thrones. And Elijah Wood has fuck you money from Lord of the Rings. They can do whatever they want. And I want more of that from Hollywood. I want people just be like, you know what? I'm a fan of the Toxic fucking Avenger. They want to do a remake. I'm going to get so big, my friends that are such big stars, and they're just going to fucking do it.
The one thing about Elijah Burke that I thought was kind of weird, his character, I forget the character's name.
Who, Elijah Wood, you mean?
Yeah, what I said, Burke. Oh, that's the pro wrestler. Sorry, Elijah Wood. His look kind of resembled the Penguin, which I thought was weird. I don't know if there was a reason behind that, but no, I agree. This movie had such star power, and it kind of reminds me of, you talk about the last Picture House out there by where you live is, filmmakers got some money and they said, we're going to make a theater because we're going to show what we want to show. It's super cool.
I will definitely check this out again. If it got re-released into theaters, like if it does well and gets a bigger release, which I don't know how it's doing or how it will do from the people I've talked to. There's been people in the theaters, but it's not been packed. So people are going to see it, but it's not been a packed theater by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and I'll tell everybody, this isn't a movie that you have to see in theaters, but I've seen movies where I'm like, I didn't need to go to the theater to see this. I could have waited till I got home. This movie was way fucking fun in the theater. Go see it. Get a giant bowl of popcorn, a tub of popcorn, and go to the theater and see it. But I got to tell you, though, probably one of the coolest things about watching this film for me was talking with Gary Schneider on the way home, because there's a scene I can't remember if it was towards the end, there's a scene where there's this real quick snippet of a background actor, like, a crowd in the city, like both their arms are in the air and they're cheering Toxie. And it was so quick. And I looked and I was like, that looks like Gary. And so I sent Gary a message and I was like, I swear I just saw you have a cameo in the Toxic Avenger. And so him and I are chatting the whole way home, which is pretty surreal. But at one point he says, hey, I got to ask you a question. He says he's going to go see the movie. Him and Robert were going to go see the movie a week after I saw it, which was August 29th. He said he heard that Kevin Bacon's character is referred to as Bozo, or says something about he's not called Bozo anymore. And it's kind of a small reoccurring theme. He said, is that true? And I said, do you really want to know? And he says, yeah, I'm curious. And I said, well, I'll tell you this. Kevin Bacon stressed me out, man. So then I was wondering if Kevin Bacon was supposed to be Bozo and Elijah Wood, not Burke, but Wood, was supposed to be Slug, but he was never referred to as Robert Pritchard's Slug.
When we were sitting getting ready to watch the movie, Brett said, you've never seen the original Toxic Avenger before? I was like, what do you? Yes, I have. I sent Robert Pritchard and Gary Schneider from the first movie a Christmas card. And they're like great friends with my 7-year-old. They could care less if I was there, but they want to hang out with Finley. I was like, yeah, this film, you said getting choked up. On the way home, I thought about it. We don't make a dime off this podcast. We've never made money doing the podcast.
No.
But this is talking with Robert and Gary, the friends I've made through the show, going and seeing Toxie. This is almost like a full circle moment for us, where no matter what, if the podcast lasts a year or 100 more years, we're always going to have hanging out with Robert and Gary, Class of Nukem High, Toxic Avenger. We're always going to have all of that. That's worth what we spend putting into making the show, to me anyway.
Oh, for sure. Now, if you want me to be around for 100 more years, you better get me some Body Talks chemicals
yeah.
to keep me going. When I was talking about getting choked up, there was just like a couple scenes in the movie where Winston, as a Toxic Avenger, sees his stepson by himself doing the dance performance that he was afraid to do because he deals with anxiety and his mother's died and he's kind of a recluse. And, it brought him joy. He had that smile. And there was another Disney moment where the stepson finally accepts him and calls him dad and gives him a hug and they embrace. And it just reminded me, I don't care if anybody thinks I'm stupid. It was one of those moments where you're watching a Disney movie and something like that happens. You get that little ball in your throat. You're not going to sob like a baby, but you're like, oh, damn, it just got me in the feelers.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason this film's needed this year. Horror, for me, has been really heavy. Weapons was heavy. Bring Her Back was heavy. Sinners was heavy. A lot of stuff's been heavy this year. So I needed something.
Until Dawn even was, and that was fun, but it was...
I needed something just fun and to release and let go and be a feel-good story. And that's what this is. I mean, at the end of the day, the original Toxic Avenger is about the underdog that's finally able to have friends and family and be cheered because they've won in life.
I really hope that this movie brings back these types of films, because I think that's one of the things that was great about the 80s and even into the early 90s, which that was a point I missed. I'm going to go off on a track here for a second, but this movie also showcases some of the zany 90s elements of the original Toxic Avenger sequels. Again, still being its own movie though, but this showcases that fun that we all used to have when we go to the movies. And now everything has to have this and everything has to have that. Or like you say, it's heavy. No one's allowed to have fun anymore. So it's almost like I hope this movie could reignite, not mainstream, but mainstream trauma film company or enterprise, where it's not just direct to video or the back alley movie club, or for nerds like us. It's for everybody to see at the theater. I think it's important.
And they did a great job of that political satire, but not shoving it in your face like we get so much anymore.
Yep, they didn't beat you over the head with it. It was very fucking present. You had no way to miss it, but it was done in such a sitting around having a beer with your buddy talking about it in a joking way kind of way, which was something else that's important because, man, I'm getting serious now, but I think we as a a world, I almost said a nation, but as a world, need to just fucking relax and be able to joke around and sit and have these conversations and not take everything so seriously. I think that's kind of what you were getting at, Brian. But
what do you think? Should we rate it?
Well, I do want to say that I hope, because see, Macon Blair, if you know anything about Macon Blair, he's done other projects. He's the director of this film. One of the things that he did, a project that he did, was Murder Party.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
I love Murder. And I didn't know that Macon did that, and I found that out. If you haven't seen Murder Party, go see it. Murder Party is not this film, but you could watch it in a double feed. They'd both be in the same video section of an 80s video store, I think. So this is his style of filmmaking. I don't think he's boxed into just this style. So I hope he's going to continue to showcase things like these in the future.
Yeah, I love Murder Party.
If you go see it in the theater, even if you wait till it comes out, there's a post-credit scene. Watch it. Maybe, just maybe, there'll be a sequel. If not, you'll learn how to, make grilled cheese sandwiches really well.
Yeah. I don't know that this will get a sequel, but I'd watch that too.
Well, and then you could go fund it. It was making fun of itself, but I think the one, it was like, it could be an Atomo-Vision, Toxie-Vision, or then it was like, or something like Big Dildo Vision or something.
Yeah, I just had a blast with this. This is not for your kids, so don't take your children. But when they're 18, play them the double feature of the original and this one. They'll have a blast with it.
You're not the boss to me. I totally would have taken Boots to see this movie.
Well, yeah, but she's a little older. I'm not taking Finley to see it.
No. I wouldn't do that either.
What do you think? Should we rate it?
Rate it.
I started at the 7 because I understand this is not like a masterpiece of cinema. But on just a sheer, I went to the movies, I had popcorn, I had a soda, I had peanut M&Ms, I hung out with buddies, we laughed freaking out loud, not a care in the world. This is an 8.5 out of 10. Pissing on my neck, I don't even know. I mean, ripped out assholes. All kinds of crazy shit happens in this.
I forgot about that nude scene. There's some butt cheeks in this too. He's like, give me your lunch.
Yeah, I just had a freaking blast with this. I would go see it again today if I had time.
Same exact number. I got 8.5 bozos out of 10. It's zany, gory, trauma fun. And I don't even need to repeat everything that I just said throughout this podcast. There's a lot of reasons to go see this film. And I think you should. I think you should support this style of film. And I think everybody should go just fucking chill out, have some fun, relax. And remember what drew us to the movies as horror fans to begin with. And that was just to have a good time. And that's exactly what this movie did.
You saw it by yourself, or did you have somebody go with you?
Rebecca and I went.
Did she like it?
She did. I mean, I don't think she sliced into it on the levels that you or I are, but she did. In fact, when we were driving, because it was showing in Lansing, so we drove an hour north. She doesn't really have a style of film, but I was just like, I don't think this is going to be your style of film, just letting you know, when we get into it. And she's like, well, I watched the original with you, and she's like, I liked it. And I was like, yeah, but I think it might be a little more than that. And she was laughing when all of us laughed. She got everything that was going on. So you take someone who's not outside of the realm of this movie, but a little bit on the outside, and she still enjoyed it, had a great time, wasn't upset that she went. This
is a film that would be so much fun to show Tiffany, because I would imagine she'd fucking hate it, and I would eat it up.
I could see her just jaw open the whole time, like, what the?
You're going to make me watch that? Oh yeah, we're going to do a double feature of that with the Greasy Strangler.
Well, I make you listen to the PFPN, so of course I'm going to make you watch this movie.
They liked it. I don't care if they liked it. We liked it.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
So now that we've heard from our podcast network, it's time for some recommendations. And I wish I had the Toxic Avenger or Lloyd Kaufman, who was in the Toxic Avenger. He makes an appearance towards the end of the film. I wish I had them saying, here's what we're going to watch. Or I should play like the clip from Troma. Because that was one thing I didn't like. I want the Troma fucking clip. I want that with the legendary and all those big names. Maybe I'll just play that and skip the Captain Spaulding thing. Yeah, I think I'll do that. First off, if you like this and you've never seen the original, go back and watch the original 1984 Toxic Avenger. A little different story, but so much fucking fun. So much fun.
Even the sequels, because again, the elements of the sequels were present in this. I guess we're going to call it I'm going to say a reimagining. I'm not going to say a remake.
I mean, I'll just go down the line. Toxic Avenger Part 2 from 1989, where Toxie travels to Japan on a quest to find his father. Part 3, The Toxic Avenger, The Last Temptation of Toxie from 1980. That was from 1980. They made 2 Toxic Avengers in 1989, or they released both of them that year.
Have you seen those? Yeah, they made them both back to back.
I don't think I've seen the third one.
Toxie fights the devil.
Depressed Toxie joins a corrupt corporation only to discover his boss is literally the devil. He must work where we fucking work.
Right.
Part 4, The Toxic Avenger Citizen Toxie from 2000. Toxie battles his evil alternate self in overtop gory, blood-splattered comedy. I don't know that I've seen that one either.
I have. It's been a long fucking time, but I have.
From 1996, Romeo and Juliet. Speaking of big, weird chicken penises, a twisted spoof based on Romeo and Juliet with a campy trauma spirit. It's fun.
Here might be a way to, I don't want to step on your toes and interrupt you, but here might be a way to even summarize this segment. Go subscribe to Trauma now and watch anything and everything that Trauma's put out. Most of the stuff, it's all in the same vein. I mean, Poultry Guys, Class of Nukem High, Return to Class of Nukem High. There's some stuff off the beaten path like Redneck Zombies that doesn't quite, really independent stuff that doesn't feel like this film. But
from 1999, Terra Firma. I don't know if I've seen that one or not.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I need to.
Chaotic comedy about guerrilla filmmaking filmed amid explosive gore, Trauma style. From 1992, finally a non-trauma film, Dead Alive or Brain Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a Peter Jackson over-the-top zombie carnage blended with slapstick. I mean, at one point, the guy straps a mower to his chest and goes through a field of zombies like he's cutting grass.
Don't forget the, zombie priest who kicks ass for the Lord.
From 1987, Evil Dead 2. And you could go with Evil Dead 1 or Evil Dead 2.
One's more serious. I think 2 is a little more zany. They would fit in the realm of this.
If you're listening to this podcast, you probably know what Evil Dead's about. From 2004, Shaun of the Dead, another slapstick. I mean, it's zombies, but it's fun. British, so a little different kind of humor than we're used to in America, but I think it hits where it needs to. And from 2015, Turbo Kid. You seen Turbo Kid?
I love Turbo Kid. I'm trying to think because Turbo Kid kind of was that more serious 80s post-apocalyptic film. I could see it. There's one there's a film I'm super surprised you didn't mention.
Oh, tell me. What is it?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We can't be friends anymore.
Well, Class of Nukem High?
Now I'm questioning if we've ever been friends ever, to be honest with you.
Was it Class of Nukem High?
No, but now that you say that, I should have said that too. Psycho Goreman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go a lot of different directions with recommendations. Psycho Goreman, God, that was fun. That was another one that was a freaking blast.
And you can hear what we thought about Psycho Goreman if you go back through the episodes of the I Like a Spooky Horror podcast.
And I want to watch that. That and this as a double feature, that would be a blast.
Instead of getting to what the fuck's going on, how about we tell people we're about to end the show and go watch those back to back right now?
Freak you. Freak yourself.
Right. Freak off. Yeah, freak yourself.
So this episode drops on September 14th, and we're pretty much into spooky season. We live there all year, but a lot of the normal people outside of, the horror community are kind of joining the ranks. Spirit Halloween's open.
Welcome aboard, friends.
All the crafty places, Marshalls and so on and so forth, Lowe's, Menards, blah, 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 have had their spooky stuff out. They're probably halfway through fucking getting their Christmas shit out already. I've already seen Christmas stuff out, but I don't think I have anything that off the top of my head that I know I'm doing. I know there's shit going on. I just don't know what it is. So that's where you jump on our social media, follow the right people on social media and see what's going on, because we share stuff that we are going to do. We share stuff other people have going on. We share stuff that's going on in Michigan and Illinois and Iowa and cool stuff throughout the country. So you got to go over to our social medias and see what's going on.
So there is some stuff coming up that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to address this. Unfortunately, this episode comes out after the fact, but I've been plugging for a while that at Haunting in the Hills is on September 6th was going to be Carnival Metal Fest. This comes out after that date, and unfortunately, Carnival Metal Fest is not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen at Haunting in the Hills. Things just did not work out, ran into a lot of issues, and as we tried to get things taken care of on behalf of Haunting in the Hills, the definitions kept changing, and it made the timelines virtually impossible to get everything done in time. So again, this is old news as of now when you're hearing my voice, but my heart's still heavy about it, and I know that the concert promoters are not happy about it. But I do want to say that they are, and by they I mean Clown Pit Entertainment and Carnival Metal Fest, they're carrying on. The passion is still there, and 2 days before this episode came out, they had a show at Max Bar at 2700 East Michigan Ave in Lansing, where they had 5 bands. So they are very much still in the game of bringing you great metal shows, and they've announced that they've locked all the bands in that were going to be playing at Haunting in the Hills for Carnival Metal Fest for next year as they search out a new venue. So wish them nothing but success, continued success, and I hope that things work out. And it looks like they're not going to be stopping. They're going to be moving on. So check out Clown Pit Entertainment. Check out Carnival Metal Fest on social media. Follow them to see what they got going on, because they want to bring you metal shows with some great bands. In addition, what do we got? You're talking about other people doing things. September 20th and 21st in Hartford, Connecticut is the CT Horror Fest, and they've got a great lineup as well. Talked with Tom Smith, the director of Valentine Bluffs, and I believe he is going to have a table there, or he was, and then a film gig popped up. So we got to see what's going on with that, but still the event's going on. Oh, before that is September, 12th, 13th, and 14th is Horror Hound in Cincinnati, which I think I will be attending because Bruce Dickerson's going to be there, and I might just be able to pass on my Iron Maiden screenplay that I wrote years ago. We'll see what happens. And then on top of that, we'll probably talk about this next episode as well, but coming up Saturday, September 20th is Hearstfest. It's time again for Hearstfest, Fowlerville, Michigan. I've vended there for several years. The showrunners are great people, and get up and support Hearstfest. Last year, they set the world record for the largest funeral car procession, and maybe they'll top themselves this year. Hearstfest is always a good time, so go check it out.
That's it.
There's probably more, but that was a mouthful. I won't tell it all on the first date. We'll wait till the next episode to tell people more.
My Facebook feed is just filled with this fall festival and this fall festival, and this is coming up and this is coming up. So you're to the point where it's like, what do I want to go to? What can I afford to go to? What do I have time to go to? Normal people think we love this time of the year, which we do, but it's always so busy and so overwhelming.
It unfortunately is at a point where it's hard to enjoy. Like I'm excited all these things. Like you talked, I wasn't even thinking about fall festivals. I don't have the date in front of me, but the Clinton Fall Festival, which is a huge fall festival in my area, Clinton is not far from Haunting in the Hills, is happening very soon. And there's another big fall festival going on somewhere too. It's not coming to mind. But yeah, I love all this stuff's happening. But like you say, it's just overload, and it's so hard to actually enjoy it. But we do what we can. I enjoy telling people about it
and hoping they can go. Maybe they'll all send us pictures of what they do, and then we can live vicariously through them.
Sounds like a fair trade.
That's what I'm going to do.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.